Good morning, guys. This is English 7, and this is for, got my little notebook here telling us exactly what we're going to do today. This is for Wednesday, May the 13th. Now, you have a test, but as I told you, I want you to watch this video. It's going to help you review before you take the test in case you have some issues. Okay, so let's start by going over your homework. I asked you to do this as preparation for your test. So we're going to look at exercises J, K, and L. If you have not done them, stop watching the video, do them, and then come back. Letter J. If you were looking for the parts of speech, number 1, the word and is a conjunction. Willingly is an adverb. With is a preposition. Let's talk about them for a second. A conjunction joins two words. In this case, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh. She seeketh and worketh. It's joining the two verbs. The word willingly is an adverb, okay? How did she work? She worked willingly, okay? Couple of clues. Willingly, we know, is an adverb because it ends in, normally, if it ends in an ly, it's going to be an adverb. Also, adverbs answer the questions. Where, when, how often, to what extent, under what condition, or why. The next one was with. We know that prepositional phrases begin with a preposition and they end with an object. That object is always going to be a noun or a pronoun. Look at number 2. Both Ryder and Raylan made it to the bottom safely, but unfortunately Kaylee fell down. Both and, that is a conjunction. The word to is a preposition, to the bottom, okay? And the word down can be a preposition, but it's not here. How do I know that? Because it doesn't have an object. A preposition must have an object. So if you see a word that's on your prepositional list, but it doesn't have an object, it's an adverb. Number 3, the word O is an interjection. Into is a preposition. Number 4, almost is an adverb. Near is a preposition. Number 5, with is a preposition. Under is a preposition. And is a conjunction. Look at exercise K. Here you were looking for the prepositions. You're making whatever changes were necessary because they were incorrect. I'm going to read this sentence to you correctly. After Jesus gave thanks, he broke bread and divided it among the disciples. Number 2, all the employees of the firm were present at the meeting except, E-X-C-E-P-T, for Hamilton Burnoff. Number 3, the cost of the Bible and its case amounted to $40. Do not use the word up. Number 4, at 7 o'clock, mark out the word about. At 7 o'clock, the race between Dustin and Tucker will begin. Number 5, Jesus found money changers inside the temple. Take the word of out. There's no reason for it. If Jonah had obeyed, take the word of out. It's not a verb. There's no reason for it. If Jonah had obeyed God, he wouldn't have spent any time inside the whale. Take the word of out. Number 7, the meeting will begin at 7 o'clock this evening. Number 8, he was sitting beside me when it was time to get off the bus. Take the word besides, make it beside. Take the word of completely out of your sentence. I believe I gave you the answers to letter L in a previous video. Let's look at number M. We're not going to do because you will not have diagramming on your test. Okay, it's just simply too difficult for me to get it to you and for you to do it under these conditions. Turn to page 231. This is the final part of our final review. Section A, which is correct? A, B, or neither? My first choice, or my first choice. The letter A is correct. No, number B, the Reverend James Cranston. Which one is correct? You needed to say B. When you have the word the, you must write the word Reverend or honorable out. Number 3, 130. Which one is correct? A. If it's more than 2 words, then you can write it as digits. So like 27, I have to write that out. But anything that is more than, if I say 127, 127, it's 4 words, I can put it in digits. 10 o'clock a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning. Neither one is correct, okay? You don't put a.m. in the morning. You put 10 a.m. or 10 in the morning, but you don't put both. And 10 o'clock a.m., you don't need the o'clock, okay? Number 5, the doctor's diagnosis, which is correct. Letter A, you must write doctors out. It shows ownership. Number 6, 37th Street. Letter B is correct. You capitalize 30, you put a hyphen, but you do not capitalize the 7. Number 7, Unit 4. Letter A is correct. You do not capitalize the word unit. It's like the word chapter. You don't capitalize that, and you can use a number, okay? Number 8, only 12 of the 255 guests. Which one is correct? Letter B, even though 12 is only 1 word, we get to write it in digits because 12 and 255 both refer to the guest. Number 9, 412 AD or AD 412. The AD goes in front. By the way, if it was a BC, it would go after the number. So letter B is correct there. The second one, that is letter A. We always write placements like second, third, fifth. We write those out. Capitalization, I'm not going to go over these sentences because of time, but I will go over the rules. You're going to capitalize the first word of a sentence. You're going to capitalize proper names, whether it's a person, a place, or a monument, a thing. You're going to capitalize the first line, the first word of every line of poetry. You're going to capitalize the words north, south, east, and west only if they refer to the section of the country. For example, Mrs. Turner is from the south. That time I would capitalize south. It's a section of the country. If I say Mrs. Turner is driving south on Cicero Avenue as a direction, and I do not capitalize that. I capitalize the first word of a direct quote. I capitalize titles such as Mr., Mrs., Aunt, Uncle, but only if aunt and uncle have what? If it's my aunt, I do not. But if I say Aunt Jane, then yes, I'm going to capitalize it. Do not capitalize cousin. We don't walk around and say Cousin Tim, okay? Even if you're from the South, we don't say that, okay? Capitalize books of the Bible. Capitalize all the words that refer to God. For example, you might capitalize Lord God, Emmanuel, Jehovah, Rose of Sharon. Any of those words that refer to God or to the Bible. All right? Capitalize the names of an era. For example, if I say she was the queen during the Victorian era. Okay, Victorian era would be capitalized. It's a time period. Okay, another one would be the Shakespearean era. Okay, you're going to underline the title of a book, but the title of an article that's in a magazine, it goes inside quotation marks. Remember, if it's inside a book, it's inside quotations. If it's a book itself, we're going to underline it. We're going to underline ships, the names of ships and planes and spaceships and things like that. We're going to underline a work of art, okay? I will try to make sure that on the test, if I use a work of art or something like that, that I'm clear with you that it is a work of art. When you're taking the test, if you have a question, you can text me. I will keep my phone right beside me while I'm working so that you can ask me questions, okay? Look at exercise C. Look at exercise C. We're looking for subjects, verbs, complements, and participles. Let's review what they are. First, when we're looking at a sentence, the first thing we're going to mark is our prepositional phrases. We want to get all those out because our subject and our verb are never going to be inside a prepositional phrase. Find your verb. A verb is a word of action or it's a linking verb. Okay? If it's then you ask yourself, who or what did the action? If it's an action, take your subject and verb and say who or what. For example, if I say Mrs. Turner gave a test. Gave is the verb. Mrs. Turner is the subject. Mrs. Turner gave what? Mrs. Turner gave test. Test is then the direct object. Okay? If there's an indirect object, it will always come between the verb and the direct object and will answer to whom or for whom. Okay? A participle, because it asks you to find the participles. Participles look like verbs. They oftentimes end in ing, ed, or en, but they are not a verb, and I know they're not a verb because they do not have a subject. If you need to review that, it is on page 71. Page 71. Let's look at these. The little reed bending by the force of the wind stood upright again when the storm had passed over. I think I did these with you, but I just want to make sure. Okay? Stood and had passed. Who or what stood? Reed. Reed stood. Who or what had passed? Storm. Storm had passed. Is there a word that looks like a verb, but it does not have a subject? Bending. So bending is a participle. You need to circle it. Number 2, please all and you will please none. What is the verb? Please and will please. The first please, who or what please? You, an understood you. Okay, you please. Okay, what about the other will please? It again is you. You will please. Look at the first one. You please who? You please what? You please all. All is the direct object. You will please who? You will please what? None. None is a direct object. Look at number 3. Dad repaired my brother's broken bicycle. What's the verb? Repaired. Who or what repaired? Dad. Dad's our subject. Dad repaired what? He repaired bicycle. Bicycle is a direct object. Okay, what's the participle? Broken. Broken looks like a verb, but it does not have a subject. Look at number 4. The blizzard brought freezing snow and biting wind, but inside the house we were warm and safe. The verbs brought and were. Who or what brought? Blizzard. Who or what were? We. Blizzard brought what? Blizzard brought snow, wind. We were what? We were safe. We were warm. So snow and wind are direct objects. Warm and safe are predicate adjectives. Is there a participle? Yes. The word freezing and the word biting. Both words look like verbs. Neither word is a verb. So they're participles. Look at number 5. We would often be sorry if our wishes were gratified. What is the verb? Would and were gratified. Who or what would? We. We would. Who or what were gratified? Wishes were gratified. Now, we would be what? Sorry. So sorry is a direct object. Okay? Very quickly, let's move down to exercise D. Again, if you want to finish that exercise and send it to me, I will happily grade it for you. Exercise D, I want you to do D and E. Then I want you to turn the video back on, okay? Or the recording on. Part 2.